Hey everybody, it's Pretty Pink Soul Movement here. So today one of my lovely people on my Facebook page asked me, how do you deal with fear? Like, how do you process it? How do you transmute that? How do you change that? Which is an awesome question, and I think one of the hardest ones that we've had to we have to deal with in our life, along with everything else. And it's not a straightforward answer. I think you really need to kind of see where it's come from in your life. Like if you're ready to get into that, let's get into that healing, that let's get into seeing what's happened, in our lives, then you're ready to transmute that fear. So that's like step number one. Are you committed to healing yourself? Because that's the only way that you can do that, is by setting that intention to heal yourself and to release it. And you kind of almost have to track back through your childhood, not specifically situations if you can't think of them, but just see where those behavioral patterns come from, because that's where it stemmed from. Because when you're born, you're just this child that fears nothing, and you'll jump out a window or think you're Superwoman, or you'll escape out the front door and run down the street. Like you don't have fear, right? And it's just through circumstances or our parents telling us no, which was fine, right? Don't touch that hot stove because you're going to get burnt. Like it starts off like that, and then it slowly turns into other things, and turns into your culture or society, the way they tell you that you should be, just like media tells you how you should look and stuff like that in order to be beautiful, when in fact we're all beautiful in our own way, right? So it's just like layers upon layers upon layers upon layers of fear. So then you reach your adult life, or sometimes even a teenager, and that's when most of us, we don't know how to go into the adult world. We've just got all these layers, and we don't know how to be ourselves because we've been told not to be ourselves our whole life. So it's just more like creating awareness around that, just like look where it's come from, and that's fine. It's your life. It had to be that way for you to get to this point to want to heal, right? And that's fantastic, and well done for doing that and clicking on this video. So yeah, step one, awareness, and just see how it's kind of manifested in your life. It's not to blame anyone as well. There's no point, because that's very disempowering. So what we want to do now to heal ourselves is to bring our power back and to empower ourselves to heal ourselves, right? Because our healing is our responsibility. We didn't have control over those circumstances, but we've got this control over now, right, to heal ourselves, and we owe it to ourselves to be happy. So the first card I pulled was the perception. We need to change our perceptions in order to heal, to release fear, fearful programming and fear in our lives. And sometimes, because we felt that fear when we were growing up, we manifest that in our adult lives, right? We might pick relationships where we kind of instill that fear again, like subconsciously, you're not meaning to, but we choose relationships based on our past and what's familiar. And so you might pick, say, a woman might pick an abusive partner, but then men do that too, right? Because usually either one of the parents was like that, maybe not say physical or whatever, but it could be emotional, and vice versa, and that could manifest differently in your adult life. So it doesn't always have to be exactly the same as it was in your childhood. However, there was some sort of undertones of that pattern, like abusive pattern there. So just recognize how your past is similar to what you're kind of creating now, if you've been unable to release those fears. So it's just a stress more than anything else. It's just awareness. Just be mindful of that and be willing to release it. Be willing to see what's been happening to you. And this is the hard part, and this is why people avoid healing, because they don't want to go back there. But you're not really going back there, but you're just kind of going back there to see the patterns. You don't have to relive that pain. Just see where you've come from and how you've got the power to change it now. So releasing our fear from the past is basically all we can do is in this moment, right? We can release it now. So it's not about going back and blaming anyone or yelling at anyone. We have to do this healing now. So that's come across. We've got the power. We've always got the power to pull those lost parts of ourselves back to us. it's like with each traumatic event in your life, it's like a little piece of your soul is kind of just scattered and left there, right? So now it's time to call that back. And you can physically, or go out in the backyard, go into nature and say, please call back all the lost pieces of my soul. There's so many different ways to do it, and I feel like it just takes, I probably won't be able to get it all in this video, but this is kind of a good start. Go out there and just call all those pieces of your soul, visualize them coming back to you. Visualize finding that little inner child of yours and just telling her or him that you're safe now. If you want, you can relive that incident that's damaged you. If you feel safe to, go to a psychologist if you don't feel capable of doing it. And then tell that child, speak to that child, say, I'm here for you now, I will look after you now. It sounds silly, and it took me a while to get the hang of it, and now I talk to my inner child every day, because she's a part of you that, even as a teenager, when I had a car accident, and I felt so alone, and that set me up for a lot of pain in my life. Like, I can go back to that 17-year-old and tell her, I'm here for you, I'm going to look after you. It's the same kind of thing. Even if something happens to you yesterday, we're still like that inner child, but as an adult form, we still need those parts of us healed. And sometimes we keep playing out that inner child role, right? Like having the tantrum or demanding certain behaviours from people, because we haven't had that childhood need fulfilled. So that's what we're doing now. We're trying to fulfill our needs now by talking to ourselves and honouring ourselves and honouring our inner child. So inner child work's very important in releasing fears and that. So in order to release fear, we need to kind of see our past, change our perception, give ourselves love and healing, and to the inner child, and also to ourselves, like lots of self-love. And also taking steps now, this is the second card I've got, it's changes. Like, you need to start making little changes where you feel capable of making changes, whether it be a relationship that doesn't serve you. There will always be someone to help you. You just need to reach out, use your intuition, use your discernment, and reach out to people that you think they might be able just to give you like a little bit of information, like a little bit of a different perception change on, I'm feeling this way, I feel trapped or whatever. What would you do if you were me? Like, what step would you take now if you get that stuck? If you can't sit there in a meditation for 5 minutes just to think, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, higher self, tell me, please, what do I need to do next? I need help, universe, help me, universe. Ask people for help, ask the universe for help, ask for signs. What do I need to do next in my healing? And just be gentle with yourself and compassionate. Self-love every day, please. If that's one thing you do, please do that. That transforms your life. And just imagine all those tiny little steps that you take every day. Before you know it, say if you take a little step every day, even if it's just journaling how you're feeling, one step a day is 365 in a year, right? And imagine all those poor people that they don't want to deal with their pain, and next minute it's 20 years later and they've lost 20 years of their life when they could have started back then. Do you know what I'm saying? So start today, start now, start doing things different, and it will change your life. There is no quick fix. You're never ever going to have a quick fix. So you got two choices. Like, either you start now, change your perception now, or you end up losing, most of your life being unhappy and unfulfilled, right? So what's harder, losing time and regret, or taking tiny little steps and changing your perception now? My book that I wrote recently and released, that's designed. It's designed for that. It's to shift your perception in such a quick as possible time, because that's what my guides wanted me to do, and that's what I needed to channel. Originally I wrote a bigger book, and I thought it's too long and I don't really like long books. I want to rechannel this information, get the message across, and just punch it out in small paragraphs as much as I can. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link below. That will help shift your perception really quickly, so you can do that, all the other things that I've mentioned today, and your life will transform before your eyes. So it just takes your commitment, your awareness, doing some work, because nobody can do that for you. But you can help yourself. You can change your life. You really can, and start calling in people or talking to people that will support you in your next journey, because sometimes that's the issue, right? We might not have the partner or the family that think the same way we do, and that's okay. Calling your tribe. There's so many people on Facebook now. Find your groups, find who you connect with, use your intuition, chat to people like who, find support system. It's so important. And then you can learn from other people too, right? Following people on Facebook, healers, more YouTube videos, like just go out there and get as much knowledge as you can. Like on some nights when I can't even sleep, I listen to, card readings as well, even though I do them myself. But it's like that, you can tell they care about you, and that's all I need. It's like that helps me get back to sleep, and it goes into my subconscious as well. It's like reprogramming me to be more positive, to think clearer, to take more guided action, to learn to trust my intuition. It's like taking all these little steps just makes such a massive deal. Like it'll change your life. And I'll just show you some cards that I picked. So you have the power to direct your own thoughts. Recreate new thoughts. Don't base it on the old ones that you've had or the old situations, because they're not around anymore. Like they don't exist anymore. Poof, they're gone. It's just our mind that keeps replaying that fear over and over again in our heads. But the more you concentrate on that, I'm sure I've got more here too. The more you concentrate on like the negatives, like this one, relationships I don't want, clarify those I do want. So if you keep saying, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, you're affirming that. You're telling the universe, it doesn't matter that you're saying you don't, it doesn't understand that. You've put in your request. You've said, you're focusing on what you don't want, right? And that's what it hears. And that's why we keep playing out the same cycles again and again, because we keep calling that back to us, like to prove ourselves right. Like, oh, I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, you did, because you said it was going to happen. You set your intention for whatever, like your car to break down or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And like this card says, feeling negative emotions means I'm launching my requests. You need to be conscious of how you're speaking to yourself internally, because the universe hears that. And if you catch yourself being negative, write out new affirmations in a notebook. Like that, just undo what you just did. What else have we got here? And reaffirm things like, everything is always working out for me. It's just changing your perception, changing your mindset, retraining your brain, reprogramming yourself to make yourself feel good. And a really important thing is I'll not ask others to become different for me. Don't expect people to change. They never will. You're just going to be constantly disappointed. All you can do is change yourself. And then when you change yourself, your relationships will change when you change. But you can't do it just to expect something. You can't trick the universe. Like, you need to do it for you. But the thing is, when you change and you do things you want to do and you're healing yourself, that naturally lifts your vibration and you attract those situations to you, right? So you just need to keep up the good work. And you know what? It feels so much better than feeling hopeless and miserable and trapped and stuff. And we're not. It's just our past experiences that we perceive to trap us. I don't want this reading to go on to too long, so let me see if I can get any other quick messages. So yeah, we've got the Holy Spirit card here. It says, remember that only love is real and that miracles will occur naturally. And that's the thing, the more you're in a higher vibration, the more these synchronicities will happen, good things will start happening. You'll see what you're doing is make a difference. But try to release the outcome and how this is going to come to you, because that will also hold you back. So that's expecting miracles, because that's our natural form, is to expect. Is that working? Is to expect miracles. And also, here we got Mother Mary, let go of the need to be right, choose peace. This is the trap of the ego, wanting to be right, always wanting to be heard and everything like that. That just creates such a negative energy. If you want to be heard, hang around people that listen to you, but you can't force people to listen to you, right? I can't force people to listen to me now. They can click off if they don't like it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, and that was something that I struggled with growing up because no one would listen to me. Like, my family didn't want to know. They had their own issues and stuff like that, you know, so I kind of, my belief was, oh, I'm not worthy of being listened to, right? That's how those beliefs are created. And then I keep playing them out in the adult life. So kind of look at those things, whatever you think, oh, you think, oh, poor me, no one cares about me, no one is that. You know, it's just, we're carrying on those beliefs from our childhood. So you need to turn around and go, actually, everyone, even if there is no one in my life that I feel cares, but the thing is, I have to say, I have to keep on like retraining myself, going, everyone cares about me, everyone wants to listen to me, everyone thinks that what I say carries a good message, you know. And the thing is, like, even if you have to believe it yourself. Like, I have people saying that to me, but the thing is, do I believe it on the inside? That's what matters. So you've got to just work through the process, work through yourself to get to that point where you hold value for yourself, right? Serapis Bay Ascension, which is what's happening right now, which is why a lot of people are looking for answers, which is fantastic. It says, move into your true self, rise above the darkness, the light is here. And this is what we're doing now. We're wanting to release these layers of old beliefs and fear and trauma to get, you know, into our true selves, because that's, you know, that's what's important. It's not the mask we wear in society, and I think that's why a lot of people have panic attacks because and anxiety and stuff like that, right? Because it's just unhealed trauma, and the body's setting off a system saying, you know, help me, oh, I want to release this, something's not right, I don't feel good, you know. And then people just pop pills, and that sometimes that doesn't even mask it. It's because you have to see what you're running from, see where your anxiety is coming from, right? And to not fear it. Don't fear what's inside you. Don't fear it. You are love. You're just this beautiful spark of love. You've just forgotten, you know. And it will really, like, you know, you have to transform yourself to transform your life. Transform your thinking, transform your vibe, elevate yourself, do what you love, speak your truth, be you, be willing to see what you haven't seen before. Like the other day, like my guides, I kept getting repetitive messages. It's like, go into the darkness, there's something you're not seeing. I'm like, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? You know, sometimes you don't even know. It takes a while. Just like, okay, show me. And then you might, watch a YouTube video and it might help you out, or you might read a line in a book or something. You know, you'll get the answer. Just keep asking, go, what am I not seeing? You know, there was, you know, aspects of myself I thought I'd seen, but I hadn't really taken the time. I just covered it up and thought, oh, I'll deal with it because I don't think about it. But it's in my subconscious still, right? There's always stuff to work through. Like, I've always got stuff to work through. It's just having the tools, so when it shows up for you, you know what to do with it. You know how to transform it, right? And, you know, we have been living in like a mythical reality. And now is the time to create our own by transforming ourselves. You know, this is what life's about. Acting from our heart and our soul. Like healing our heart. That's what a lot of us need to do. You know, we can't let in beautiful situations, new energy and stuff, because we haven't worked through our pain, right? You know, some people think, oh, it's okay, I'll just busy myself with just pretending to be busy all the time with things that don't matter, or going out or drinking or whatever the addiction is, right? It's just a cover up. Like, you need to go, you know, within and embrace yourself. Like, learn to love yourself. Give yourself a hug. We really need to go within and love ourselves again. It's just, you know, it's just been too long. It's really just been too long, and it's sad. But, you know, you can do something about it now. You know, and a lot of people, when you're kind of working through stuff, you feel like you're in purgatory, right? You feel like you're trapped, but that's just an illusion. And look at all the light on this. Like, look at it. It's just like breaking out. Like that, the light, the freedom within there. You can free yourself. You have the power to free yourself. just need to be compassionate and patient. Let's see. And just look for the serendipity in situations. Those are the signs, the synchronicities, you know, overhearing conversations that you need to hear, getting those feather signs in the universe, birds flying past, numbers 111, 222, 333. Google them and look them up. Like, signs are everywhere. They really are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of like, I guess, a part one. If you feel like you need some more information, if this is the kind of stuff you like, please let me know. I'll put all the details to my reading in my book below, and good luck with your healing. Alright, thank you for watching. Bye.